Good evening, India. This is Times Now. You're watching the Newshour. My name is Pranesh. What is the hallmark of a functioning, thriving democracy? The obvious answer is elections because of greater public participation. And what better than Panchayat Polls, because this is the real test of democracy at the grassroots. But just look at these pictures from Bengal. This is from polling day. More than 10 people have been killed. The Panchayat polls in West Bengal have been rocked by witness political killings, booth capturing, even ballot boxes being stolen. These pictures speak for themselves. People from across party lines have been killed in Panchayat polls. BJP workers, left workers, Congress leaders, ISF cadre were hacked to death while voting was underway. And this is not an isolated instance. This has been happening over the last 15 days, 30 days. Bombs were hurled, political rivals clashed in bloody battles. These incidents raise questions about the law and order, which is a state subject, about the police administration, security system in the state. In many districts, viewers, political rivals clashed even in presence of security forces. The bloodshed and violence has raked up a massive political storm and has also sought the attention of Home Ministry, that has now sought a detailed report on the instances of violence. The BJP has called the violence state-sponsored and a complete failure of law and order under the Mamata administration, a charge that TMC is denied. In fact, TMC has been quick to distance itself and said that, look, this happened under the central forces that were deployed. We will talk about what the court said leading up to polling day, instances of violence, the political blame game, but sample the reactions today.
But the moment elections are announced in the state of Bengal, you could see the bomb culture, you could see the killings happening during the elections. You could see the ballot boxes has been snatched. That shows the situation of law and order in the state of Bengal.
বিগত ৬-৭ ঘন্টায় ৫ জন মানুষ মারা গেছে। কোচবিহারে বিজেপির একজন ইলেকশন এজেন্ট সে গুলিবিদ্ধ হয়ে মারা গেছে। ভয়ঙ্কর পরিস্থিতি। আমাদের ক্যান্ডিডেটদেরকে বের করে দেওয়া হচ্ছে। বিভিন্ন জায়গায় 1 ঘন্টার মধ্যে 400-500 ভোট ফেলে দেওয়া হচ্ছে। ভোট চলছে না প্রহসন চলছে না সার্কাস চলছে আমরা বুঝতে পারছি।
चुनाव जाते हैं, चुनाव आते हैं, लेकिन जो जीवन चला गया है वो वापस नहीं आएगा। लगभग सिर्फ इस डिस्ट्रिक्ट में लगभग 10 से भी ज़्यादा लोगों को गोली लगा है। इलेक्शन कमीशन जो है पूरी तरह से तृणमूल कांग्रेस का एजेंट होकर ही काम किया।
कुछ परवाह नहीं, ममता बनर्जी पुलिस मंत्री আছে, খুন করো, ধর্ষণ করো, লুট করো, ছাপ্পা মারো, যা খুশি করো, সাংবাদিকদের পেটাও, বিরোধীদের খুন করো, আমাদের কিচ্ছু হবে না। আমাদের পুলিশ মন্ত্রী মমতা ব্যানার্জি, এই রাজ্যে মমতা ব্যানার্জিকে যতক্ষণ না প্রাক্তন করে জেলে ঢুকাতে পারছেন এই রাজ্যের মানুষের কোনো পরিত্রাণ নেই।
We are receiving some allegations from Nandigram 1, Vekutia 1, book number 35, that some Jawans of Central Force, they are going to voters and instructing them to vote for BJP. Total peaceful voters line. There is no need to interference of that Central Force, but they are going to the crowd and appealing vote for BJP, but people will not respond to their appeal. They will vote for Trinamool.
Where is the deployment? Why have the central forces failed to protect the citizens? Trinamool Congress workers have been murdered. 2 have been shot at in Domkol. And those who were asking for deployment, and they were saying that these central forces were the guardians of peace. The guardians have failed. They have faltered to protect the rights of the citizens.
You heard the political war of words. Let's open this up quickly. Sanju Verma, the national spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party, Jaideep Majumdar, author, columnist, Kamruzzaman Choudhary of the Congress Party is also with us. Biswajit Deb, spokesperson of the Trinamool Congress, senior advocate. Shubhankar Bhattacharya, political analyst, completes the panel. Usually, viewers, at the end of polling, what do we discuss? About the voting percentage, compare it with what happened during the last election. But in Bengal, that's not what we are going to discuss. because of the murder and mayhem on the ground. Now sample the data that I have. Last time in 2018, more than 13 people were killed on polling day. And more than 10-12 are already dead today. 30 people were killed in the run-up to election. This is the 2018 data. And look what has happened this time around. What has changed? Is this not an assault on democracy? Where are those people who say democracy is dead in India? Why are they not already out with placards? Where is the Jantar Mantar Brigade? Jantar Mantar, as we speak, is completely desolate. It's empty. Where are those people? Can they not brave the rains to save democracy? Now, Kamruzzaman Choudhary, let's rise above politics today. The Congress party has been saying democracy is dead in India, democracy is dead in India, democracy is dead in India. What are you doing about what is happening in Bengal?
Well, Pranesh, a wonderful question that you have asked today. You know, today in Bengal, what we have seen is a naked dance of democracy. And Trinamool Congress has successfully aligned with the Bharatiya Janata Party in breaking the confidence of the Indians in India in their resolve to protect democracy. Why I say this, you know, after the Panchayat elections were announced in West Bengal, there were umpteen number of times where the government of West Bengal and the State Election Commission have tried to protect the central forces from coming into West Bengal to hold peaceful elections in the state. Now tell me, where were the central forces today in the West Bengal polling? Where were they seen? There are thousands of videos which have gone viral, Pranesh, and out of which have you seen any central forces protecting the voters of West Bengal? Now, you have sent central force yesterday evening. Yesterday means today is the 8th. On 7th evening, you are sending central forces from Ladakh by flight, and the state government doesn't arrange them the logistics to take them to the polling booth. Now, what type of democracy is this? Now, the State Election Commission is duty bound to the High Court of India, High Court of West Bengal, that it will hold free and fair election.
Now, those are valid questions. Mr. Kamruzzaman Choudhary, I will put that question to the representative of the BJP and the TMC. But before that, allow me to ask you this. And don't you trivialize this because people have died, sir. So do not, there is no space or room for humor today. When you were meeting the opposition leaders in Patna, did Rahul Gandhi or Mr. Khadge walk up to Mamata Banerjee, tell her that democracy is dying a slow death in Bengal and that we will not share the stage?
Pranesh, don't be one-sided. You can't be a myopic view.
I am asking you a question of principle.
No, let me just give you. You cannot have a myopic view with regards to the West Bengal and a national view in a different perspective. I am linking them both. Where journalists are being treated
I am linking them both, sir. I am linking them both. You have, the problem is, I'll tell you.
All of the same side.
My question to you, my question to you is myopic. Your logic is lopsided, Mr. Kamruzzaman Choudhary. Let me tell you that.
That's how you take it.
No. It's how you take it then, sir. Then I have a right to ask you that question. You don't want to answer that question. Fair enough. Let me turn to the TMC spokesperson. Now, Mr. Biswajit Deb, sir, you are a reasonable man. Good evening, first of all. You are a reasonable man, sir. Is this the best form of democracy that we are experiencing on the streets of Bengal?
You must look into the actual thing which has happened today. You see, there are two aspects of the matter. The entire opposition, led by BJP, Congress, CPIM and ISF, have created a ruckus in West Bengal in some parts. Now you see, there are more than 60,000 booths, out of which only 60 to 70 booths there were violence. And these violence had been perpetrated and provoked by BJP, CPIM, Congress and ISF together. Now, you will see that there are 14 casualties today, 14 deaths, out of which more than 8 persons, our workers, our leaders have died, more than 8. If we are there, we had created violence, how can our workers be killed? How can our leaders be killed? It is more than 8 workers who have been killed of All India Trinamool Congress. Do you think that we are the perpetrators of this violence? We want violence. Why we will need violence? We know that the people of Bengal are with Trinamool Congress. We know that the people of Bengal are with Mamata Banerjee. We know that the people of Bengal are with Abhishek Banerjee. So we know that BJP has understood that it's a lost battle. It's a lost battle. And that is why they have resorted to violence. They have tried to create a ruckus. They wanted to project that West Bengal is in a very bad shape.
Now, viewers, just spare a thought. Usually I say on the debate that spare a thought for the viewer. Now spare a thought for the poor anchor. I'll tell you why.
I will take 1 minute.
Mr. Kamruzzaman Choudhary, the Congress is blaming the BJP and TMC. The TMC representative is blaming the BJP, the Congress and the others. Now let me turn to Sanju Verma. Sanju Verma, the BJP is behind this is the charge from the TMC.
Give me 30 seconds. Give me 30
You know,
seconds.
Pranesh, is the TMC panelist done? Because I can hear him interjecting. This is a serious debate, please. I did not heckle anybody. I need my time.
Just give me 30 seconds.
Okay, let him finish his point. Let's give him 30 seconds.
Give
Make
me
your
30
point.
seconds. Please let me complete. And thereafter you will see that what the central forces has done. The central forces were deployed under the orders of the High Court. But these central forces, they instigated the voters to vote for BJP. They supported the BJP and the CPIM and the Congress to incite violence.
Great.
And they stood as a silent spectator
Okay.
in spite of the fact that they have been deployed under the orders of the High Court.
Okay, you've
So
made your
it's
point.
a
let's hear the other
total
side.
chaos
No,
created
1 minute,
wherever
Mr. Sen. No,
it has
Mr.
happened.
Biswajit
It is
Dev,
the
sir, please.
opposition which has
You had your chance. You made a point. Let's not interrupt others. Sanju Verma, make your point.
Thank you, Pranesh. Pranesh, first and foremost, Mamata Banerjee is an incompetent chief minister and an even more incompetent home minister. She is the de facto home minister and obviously the chief minister of West Bengal. And under her long incompetent nose, the latest tally is that including the 17 people who've died today, the Panchayat Poll violence in West Bengal has claimed 33 innocent lives. And the chief minister, instead of taking responsibility, is busy playing the proverbial blame game. Point number 2. I've been on a zillion debates in the last 96 hours, and the Trinamool Congress spokespersons often say, oh, during elections, law and order is not the prerogative of the state government. It is the election commission or the central paramilitary forces who have been deployed. Maintaining law and order is their duty. So let me just tell you that under Article 324 of the Constitution, it clearly mentions that the only duty/job of the election commission is to ensure free and fair elections. But when Panchayat elections are underway, or even when Vidhan Sabha elections are underway, the duty of maintaining law and order under the 7th schedule of the Constitution continues to be a preserve and prerogative and responsibility of the respective state government, in this case Mamata Banerjee. So please do not say, oh, because central forces are deployed, so Mamata Banerjee should not be asked any questions on law and order. She should be asked every single question because she has failed to protect her citizenry. Point number 3. Just barely 2 months back, Pranesh, if you recall, mayoral elections plus civic body elections were held in Uttar Pradesh. Tell me if even one incident of violence was reported from Uttar Pradesh, which has more than twice the population of West Bengal. I don't recall any incident of violence. Point number 4. Point number 4.
Played out in BJP rule.
You know, Pranesh,
No,
I
Mr.
don't understand who's this
Mr.
man
Choudhary,
who's
let's
speaking.
not do this, please. I am not here to tell all of you to please keep quiet while the other person is speaking. No, Mr. Choudhary, she was not interrupting when you had your chance. Please, let's not do this. We end up wasting time, sir. Please.
This man has a bad habit of getting
Sanju Verma,
rattled.
please make your point. Let's not get personal here.
I'm making
Yes.
my point.
Yeah.
I'm making my point. Please let the other panelists who are averse to the truth not get rattled. And Pranesh, I will tell you one thing. What did the Supreme Court say? Forget what Pranesh is saying or Sanju Verma is saying or XYZ is saying. On the 20th of June, and I don't think the Supreme Court has ever castigated a state government in such harsh terms. I'm reading out the Supreme Court judgment ad verbatim because that will expose the incompetency of Mamata Banerjee. The Supreme Court, led by the two-judge bench of Manoj Mishra and Justice B.V. Nagaratna, said this: holding elections cannot be a license to commit violence.
We all know
Elections cannot be accompanied with violence. If the candidates are unable to file nominations, or if they are finished off while they are going to file it, then there is free and fair election.
What your party has done
clearly shows
in Bengal.
that the Supreme Court from day one was aware that Mamata Banerjee is a failed chief minister.
In West Bengal,
that is why central forces were deployed.
And your workers,
the central forces were deployed only to assist in the election process. Central forces are not responsible
under the
for
orders
the
of the High
mayhem,
Court.
the bloodshed, or
Okay,
the
let me bring in the others. Let me bring in the others. Then I will come to you, Mr. Biswajit Dev. I'll come to you. I'll come to you. Let me bring in Jaideep Majumdar. 1 minute. Let me bring in Jaideep Majumdar. Mr. Majumdar, what is going on in Bengal?
See, I've been out on the field. I've visited various districts over the past few days. And I'll tell you this. I'll tell you why the Trinamool death count is higher than the other parties. It's very, very simple, which the Trinamool is not going to tell you, or is not going to admit. What has happened is the violence has been concentrated mostly in Kuch Bihar and Murshidabad, two areas where the Trinamool is in a tough fight with the BJP and the Congress respectively. Why the Trinamool has suffered more casualties this time is that the Trinamool thought it's going to be a walkover for them and they will do whatever they have done in the past. But this time, the CPM, Congress and the BJP workers and parties, they have resisted very fiercely. That is why the Trinamool death count is higher. Number two, as far as central forces is concerned, now, as Sanju Verma has said, it is up to the State Election Commission to deploy state forces. And we have seen right from the beginning that the State Election Commissioner, who is a favorite bureaucrat of Mamata Banerjee, he has been trying repeatedly to subvert High Court judgments, High Court orders. First of all, he made a mockery of it by requisitioning only 22 companies, one company per district. Okay, when he was castigated, then the High Court told him 822 companies you have to deploy. He held elections in one single phase when it should have been held in multiple phases. This was also what Mamata Banerjee used to demand when the CPM was in power. And now, just because she's in power, Bengal has not become peaceful or a land of milk and honey. Okay? Now, the 822 companies of central forces which have come in, you cannot blame the central forces for not doing their duty.
And I'll tell you what I'll tell you what the BSF has said. No, that's a great point that you've made, Mr. Majumdar. And Mr. Biswajit Dev, I'm coming to you, but listen to what the BSF has said, sir. BSF sent a letter to the State Election Commission stating that despite knocking their door regarding details of sensitive booths, no information was shared. They say that if the proper list of sensitive areas would have been provided, then the deployment of central forces would have been easier. Why were the details not shared, sir? Who will answer?
Exactly.
I again say that, well, BSF has not forwarded the correct picture. The State Election Commission was cooperating. The State Election Commission had welcomed the central forces because it is under the orders of the High Court that the central forces were deployed. But unfortunately, the central forces, the activities of the central forces today, they were helping the BJP. They were helping the BJP to cast the votes so that the people can cast their votes in their favor. And they were just 30 seconds waiting as a silent spectator. They were just a mute spectator when BJP, Congress, CPIM, each and every political
So you're questioning the integrity of central forces. Now, before Sanju Verma comes in, no, 1 minute. Mr. Biswajit Dev, 1 minute, sir, 1 minute. Let me bring in Kamruzzaman Choudhary. Kamruzzaman Choudhary, you are together in the Patna meeting, Congress and the TMC. Do you back this claim?
No, Pranesh, I once again want to repeat to you out here, we are dead against what Trinamool Congress did this time in Panchayat elections. We had a reference of 2018 elections, we had a multi-phase election in 2021, but how come despite our objections, a single phase election was held this time. When 822 companies of central forces were requested by the High Court, why did only 350 companies land up in Calcutta? Why were they deployed at the last moment? Why did the Election Commission not deploy them or have a deployment chart in place? That means Rajiv Sinha, the election commissioner, is culpable for all these
Mr.
matters that have
Choudhary,
taken place.
you have
today,
the
yesterday.
Now, before I get in, no, 1 minute. Before Mr. Dev answers that question, 1 minute, 1 minute.
Your party is a...
1 minute, sir, 1 minute. Mr. Dev, 1 minute. Let me bring in, because you talked about the BJP misusing central forces, it's only fair that Sanju Verma comes in. Sanju Verma, quickly. Subhankar Bhattacharya, I'm coming to you after this.
Thank you. You know, Pranesh, again, you know, there is a false narrative that the BSF and the Central Armed Forces and the CRPF did not do their job. In fact, the Supreme Court on 21st of June, in a second judgment, there was a judgment on 20th June, and when the West Bengal government refused to allow more than 22 CAPF companies to come in, there was another judgment on 21st June by the Supreme Court where it said that according to you, the police forces are inadequate to deal with the situation because there are 75,000 booths that you have in the state. And since you're willing to requisition police force from half a dozen neighboring states, what is the problem in allowing more than 22 companies? Because if there are 62,000 booths, you need at least 4,450 CAPF companies. This is what the Supreme Court said. So till the 21st of June, the Trinamool Congress was actually busy fighting in the Supreme Court saying, "हमें तो CAPF, BSF की ज़रूरत ही नहीं है."
That's because Mr. Dev would tell you, and I'm only second guessing, he would tell you because they have no confidence in central forces because they think that central forces are being misused.
Can I just finish in 10 seconds, Pranesh?
Yes, please.
Let me complete in 10 seconds. Pranesh, I just have a simple question to ask you. I have been on a zillion debates with you. When there is a problem in Uttar Pradesh, the gun is to the BJP's head because the BJP is in power there. When there is a problem in Haryana, the gun is to the BJP's head because ML Khattar
Obviously, you are murdering
heads the BJP government in Haryana. When there is a problem in Assam, the gun is to the BJP's head because the BJP's Himanta Biswa Sarma is the chief minister in Assam. I want to ask, if Yogi Adityanath is responsible for Uttar Pradesh, if Shivraj Chauhan is responsible for Madhya Pradesh, if Himanta Biswa Sarma is responsible
Mr. Dev,
for
answer that.
Why should Mamata Banerjee not be responsible for West Bengal?
Mr. Dev.
Rahul Gandhi has an opinion.
Your governments in Uttar Pradesh, your governments in Uttar
1 minute,
Pradesh
Mr. Dev now answering that question asked by Sanju Verma. 1 minute. Can we have Sanju Verma and Vishwadev?
Your government
Biswajit Dev, please, 1 minute.
It's a bulldozer government. Uttar Pradesh, it's a bulldozer government. And Uttar Pradesh also, there is no democracy. What happened? What happened in Tripura? 90% of the candidates were not allowed.
But Mr. Dev, Mr. Dev, will the state, Mr. Dev, will the state duck accountability? Can the state duck accountability?
Not at all, not at all. I again repeat that the state government was competent enough to handle this situation. But when there was a High Court order deploying the central forces, the state has to accept that particular fact and has to accept the central force and has to depend on the central force. And that is what the state did.
But you challenged the order in Supreme Court. But you challenged the order in you challenged that order. Are you suggesting, Mr. Devna, 1 minute, are you suggesting that there was a larger conspiracy to send central forces so that polls are undermined? Is that what you are saying?
Not at all. What we have done, the state government had just went to the Supreme Court on an appeal, which the state government has every right to do. But the problem is, after the Supreme Court verdict, there is no
state government. I'm sorry, Mr. Dev. State, you're talking about the rights that the state government has. You're not talking about the duty of the state government. The duty of the state government is to protect lives that the state government has not been able to do. And that I don't think you can duck, because look at the number of look at the number of people who are dead, sir. We will forget Mr. Dev, you and I, or all of us will forget about this.
I try to understand.
Spare a thought for people who've lost their loved ones.
Any death
Exactly.
is unfortunate.
Unfortunate,
Any
but
death is
when red flags were
unfortunate,
raised,
whether
what
it
did
is
the
a
state
BJP
do to
worker,
prevent it?
Whether it is a Trinamool worker,
Shubhankar
whether it is a
Bhattacharya,
Congress worker,
Shubhankar
whether it is
Bhattacharya,
an
should the
ISF
state
worker.
take
But
accountability of the murder and mayhem in Bengal?
understand, Central force has failed.
First of all, accept my thanks that you have recollected that there's one more panelist who has been waiting for last 24 odd minutes, listening to all the blabbering that was going on over here. But let me just tell you one fact, which we can never run away. It's okay, it's happening in the state. And of course, you can put as many questions to Mamata Banerjee as possible. But at the very same time, if the central forces are deployed, even the Ministry of Home Affairs cannot run away from it. Even the central ministry cannot run away from it. So everyone has their own responsibility, their own stake in the entire election. It may be as small as Panchayat election, but yes, everyone is a stakeholder. So please let not Mamata Banerjee be the entire responsibility taker in the entire game. The second part is that it is not meant for us. One of the panelists has easily mentioned and accepted the alliance of BJP, Congress, and the communist over there. And how easily these people are playing around. There is a video still going viral on the net, which easily shows that the central forces being stepped back once they see the BJP flag over there. So is it not that the BJP themselves is just trying to prove themselves up, using the central forces to, go under their thumb?
Sanju Verma, respond to that.
Thank you. Pranesh, let me make it clear once again. Please go educate yourself, and I'm not saying this in trying to belittle you, but you need to know that even when central forces are deployed, and this is what the Supreme Court judgment says, and this is what the Kolkata High Court judgment of 13th June also says, central forces are meant to aid and assist in the polling process, but the primary responsibility of maintaining law and order is that of Mamata Banerjee in her capacity as Chief Minister and Home Minister, and the primary responsibility of ensuring free and fair elections was with Rajiv Sinha, the West Bengal State Election Commission Chief, who reports into Mamata Banerjee. And Mr. Shubhankar has very conveniently blamed BJP, saying Mamata Banerjee की तो कोई गलती नहीं है, सारी गलती BSF की है, सारी गलती central forces की है.
No, I have what the courts have said. I have it here. I don't want to read the details because we don't have much time. We know what the courts have said. Now, Mr. Deb.
That you can spoil the condition, and it is only up to the Mamata Banerjee.
Mr. Deb. Okay, Shubhankar Bhattacharya, 1 minute. I think Jaideep Mazumdar has a point to make. Then I'm coming to you, Mr. Deb. Yes, Mr. Mazumdar.
A very quick point, 2 points in fact. One is there is a shocking lack of awareness about deployment of central forces. When central forces are deployed in Bengal or any state, they do not report to the MHA. Let us get this clear. And number two, I've been hearing this not only now since in the last assembly elections also, blaming the central forces, accusing them of acting in a wrongful manner and in a partial manner. Now let us draw a very, very firm red line out here. The central forces, the ITBP has come in from Leh, where they were defending our borders. The BSF has come in, they defend our borders. Let us not, and I'm saying this to the Trinamool and their apologists in this panel, let us not defame our central forces. That is an anti-national seditious act, and this should never ever be tolerated. Never ever be tolerated. Let us draw a line out.
Thank you for saying that. Let the TMC and
please educate us.
No, Mr. Deb is responding. Let's hear from the TMC spokesperson, please. Mr. Bhattacharya, 1 minute.
Banerjee cannot do her job.
1 minute, Mr. Deb.
Are deployed now. You have said. Now you please keep quiet. You please keep quiet.
Mr. Deb is now responding. 1 minute, Mr. Bhattacharya. Let the TMC spokesperson come in. Yes.
Under the orders of the Honorable High Court and Honorable Supreme Court. So it is the central force who
But
is
Mr. Dev,
primarily
you're only
responsible
saying one
to
part of the
maintain
story.
law and
On the
order
orders of the on the orders of the court. But Mr. Dev, on the orders of the court for sure, because the state government was objecting to it, resisting it. The other part is, no, you're not answering what Jaideep Majumdar told you.
Are you ashamed of
They do not take orders from the MHA when they are deployed for election duties.
Banerjee is still the Chief Minister of West Bengal. She
They
needs to
are,
take
MHA
responsibility
cannot
for
run
the
away.
bloodshed.
MHA cannot run away from their responsibility because it is the order of the Supreme Court. It is the order of the High Court. MHA cannot run away from their responsibility. Now, the second thing is this.
No, then by this logic, then the Supreme Court should answer. No, then you will say the Supreme Court must answer because the Supreme Court had faith in central forces. Look, they sent the central forces. What has happened, Mr. Dev? Now, there is a limit to this, sir.
I don't know who will answer. I don't know.
But you should know, the state must answer.
The responsibility of the central force.
How can the state say that we don't know who will answer?
The responsibility of the central force. You cannot, central force cannot avoid their responsibility. And neither MHA can avoid their responsibility.
Law and order CRPF की responsibility नहीं है. Law and order Bengal में
Entire violence.
Okay, Mr. Dev, let me simplify this for you. No, 1 minute. Is there president's rule in Bengal?
Let me answer.
Is there president's rule in Bengal, sir?
Again repeating, has been provoked.
Sir, you tell me, is there president's rule in Bengal?
And you will see.
Mr. Dev, answer this question. Is there president's rule in Bengal?
No, not at all.
Not at all. Who is the chief minister?
Why there will be central?
Who is the chief minister?
Why there will be president?
Who is the chief minister, Mr. Dev?
The chief minister, you know very well.
No, you tell me, because the way you are speaking and defending.
Mamata Banerjee. I am again.
Mamata Banerjee, there you go.
People of Bengal.
Then who should answer? Now you tell me. Now, Mr. Bhattacharya.
Is running a BJP show over here.
Mr. Bhattacharya, people have died, sir. Let's not.
Verma can go on and on in a debate. It's a national channel and everybody can see.
That's right, which is why you are also speaking. Now, please, Sanju Verma, Shubhankar Bhattacharya, please let me have this conversation with Mr. Dev. 1 minute, Mr. Dev, 1 minute. Do you believe?
TMC sympathizer.
1 minute. Please, let's not get personal. Please, let's be civil, please. Mr. Dev, Mamata Banerjee has been. Mr. Banerjee, what are we doing? I'll have to lower the fader. I have to lower the fader, please. Kamruzzaman Choudhary, I know you have a point to make. I'll come to you. But Mr. Dev, you tell me, sir.
National channel and talking like that.
Okay, please lower the fader of Mr. Bhattacharya.
I am again repeating. We don't.
Sir, don't repeat. Just answer this question. Answer this question. So don't repeat. Mr. Dev, please listen to me, sir. Just answer one question. 1 minute, sir.
Our workers have lost their lives. Today, out of the 14 casualties, more than 8 Trinamool Congress workers have been killed. Don't forget that. If we had to provoke violence, our workers...
That's even worse. You could not even protect your own workers.
Exactly. Well said, Pranesh.
No. The instigation and provocation.
Instigation? What was the state doing? What was the state doing? What was the state doing, sir?
Instigation and provocation.
What was the state doing?
Now again I am repeating. What was the central force doing? What was the central force doing? It was their primary job to ensure that there was no violence on the day of election. That is what the High Court directed them to do.
What happened in the run-up to the elections?
Don't forget that.
Sanju Verma, what happened in the run-up to the elections?
Don't try
Mr. Bhattacharya, will you defend that also? The violence?
May I come in, Pranesh?
Yeah, please, Sanju Verma, you come in, then I'll take that answer from Mr. Bhattacharya.
Okay. Pranesh, you know, under Article 154, right up till Article 164 of the Constitution, the governor has various executive powers, including discretionary powers. C.V. Ananda Bose, 2 weeks back, sensed that there was a problem in Murshidabad because Murshidabad is the new bomb-making factory zone in West Bengal. He was not allowed by Mamata Banerjee to visit certain sensitive areas of Murshidabad. And this is the same thing that Mamata Banerjee did in 2018 when there was Panchayat violence. She did not allow the then governor K.N. Tripathi to visit Asansol and Raniganj. So Mamata Banerjee is
Why
a
will the
dictatorial,
governor be
incompetent chief
restrained?
minister who
Why
does
will the
not even
governor be
respect
restrained?
the office of the
governor has
governor.
crossed- the governor has crossed his
wanted to
limits.
visit North 24 Parganas, Murshidabad, which is the bomb-making factory zone of West Bengal, but Mamata Banerjee said no. Who is Mamata Banerjee to deny C.V. Ananda Bose his rights as the first citizen of West Bengal? Can you answer that? And then Mamata Banerjee says democracy...
Let him answer that. Shubhankar Bhattacharya.
Absolutely.
Waiting to become Dhankar sir. He has seen Dhankar getting rewarded, so now he's just waiting for his turn to become rewarded now. That is it, Ms. Sanju Verma.
Exactly.
Are you a political analyst?
C.V. Ananda Bose has seen you have already.
Okay, Kamruzzaman Choudhary coming in. Kamruzzaman Choudhary, last 2 minutes on the show. Kamruzzaman Choudhary, quickly.
Very important point. I request the panel to please listen to this point. You may debate. There are lives lost in Bengal. But Pranesh, you know one thing that's coming to my mind, and I am on the same page today, though not very often with Jaideep Majumdar ji, that there are pockets of resistance where the violence happened the most. And why is that? That has got many things to do with the Sagardigi result that we saw last year, this year itself. The point is that the Mamata Banerjee did not want to see that she is losing the minority vote bank that she enjoyed all these years. Now the vote bank that she so preserved, like the North Bengal also, we saw the vote bank of Rajbangshis, we saw the vote banks of the tribal population. They have started to desert her in large numbers because of the corruption charges against her. And this was a totally well-planned, orchestrated violence that happened from the topmost positions of the Trinamool Congress. Otherwise, the Election Commission would not have been a party to this violence. And the best thing is
by
that
the combined
Election
opposition
Commissioner, I am
led
telling
by
you,
BJP,
it's a constitutional body,
you are also
but
a
the
part.
Election Commissioner
Now,
needs
Mr.
to be,
Dev,
you are also
needs
a
to be
part.
liable.
No, 1 minute. If what you are saying, if you walk the talk, then you should not attend the opposition meeting. Part 2 of it.
It is Congress.
Because the Congress party will be there.
Three of our workers in Murshidabad.
Now you are saying Congress is undemocratic. The Congress is saying TMC is undemocratic. Mr. Deb.
And then Rahul Gandhi will say democracy khatre mein hai, but will refuse to speak on West Bengal.
It's a local
Today,
poll.
Rahul Gandhi can
It's a
say
Oh, in the local polls, okay. In the local polls, Congress is undemocratic, but when it comes to national picture, the Congress is out there. No, you don't have a problem with Congress. The Congress does not have a problem with the TMC. Okay. I'm not going to get into, I'm not going to get into BJP, left, TMC, Congress. At the end of the day, like I said at the beginning of the show, people have died. They are not going to come back. The state has let them down, period. That's all the time that we have. I thank all of you for joining us on the Newshour.
The Newshour Special Edition.
25 साल क्या बदला इस समय में? देखो तो बहुत कुछ और देखो तो कुछ नहीं। बदल गया है देखने का नजरिया, पर तस्वीर तो वही है। Celebrating 25 years of being safer with Faber.
Keep fashion fluid with Maersk Integrated Logistics.
Click, click. Meet the real superstars that make a film come to life. They are the details that matter. Introducing Realme 11 Pro Series 5G.
मैं अब उन्नत अग्रसर राजस्थान हूं, अपने हर नागरिक का अभिमान हूं, महिलाओं की सुरक्षा और बुजुर्गों का सम्मान हूं, मेहनतकश मजदूरों का बल और मौसम से जूझते किसान के लिए उम्मीद का वरदान हूं। मैं अब उन्नत अग्रसर राजस्थान हूं। मैं विपदाओं को देकर मात, थामे सबका हाथ, सफलता के नए शिखर चढ़ रहा हूं। मैं हर जन के लिए चिरंजीवी स्वास्थ्य और चहुमुखी शिक्षा की नई परिभाषा गढ़ रहा हूं। पुराने बंधनों को तोड़कर आगे बढ़ती किशोरियों और महिलाओं की उड़ान हूं। मैं अब उन्नत अग्रसर राजस्थान हूं। मैंने विरासत को सहेजा है तो नई सोच को भी ढाला है। कहीं रफ्तार है मेट्रो रेल की, कहीं धरती के गर्भ से तेल निकाला है। नई दुनिया की नई तकनीकों से कदम मिलाकर बढ़ता, उद्योग और व्यवसाय के अभूतपूर्व प्रोत्साहन और नए अवसर गढ़ता। नई इमारतें, फ्लाईओवर, पुल, नए नए से मुकाम, नए उद्योग, नए कारोबार, नए बाजार, बदलते वक्त की खुशहाली और विकास की दास्तान हूं। युवा सपनों के प्रशस्त पथ का विधान हूं। आज मैं देश के ललाट पर एक मॉडल स्टेट की दमकती पहचान हूं। हाँ, मैं अब उन्नत अग्रसर राजस्थान हूं।
मैजिक ब्रिक्स आपके लिए सिर्फ प्रॉपर्टीज के ऑप्शंस ही नहीं लाते हैं, होम लोन्स, एक्सपर्ट एडवाइस, लीगल असिस्टेंस जैसी ढेर सारी सर्विसेज भी। यानी घर दिलाने से लेकर उसे घर बनाने तक के लिए सब कुछ। मैजिक ब्रिक्स, प्रॉपर्टी सही, सर्विसेज सभी।
केंट से पानी होता है 100% प्योर।
केंट आरओ प्योरिटी दिखाता भी है।
केंट देता है सबसे शुद्ध पानी।
The Newshour Special Edition.
Viewers, it's yet another coordinated strike on India and its symbols by Khalistani sympathizers, and this well-orchestrated and even well-funded offensive is across Canada, Australia and America. Remember, Times Now told you about the massive social media campaign to mobilize people to picket Indian embassies and even target Indian diplomats in Melbourne, San Francisco and Toronto. This rally has already been held in Australia as Melbourne, where Khalistani flags were atop vehicles and even posters of Bhindranwale were raised. Watch these exclusive ground reports by Times Now's Vishal Monga.
After the assassination of Harjit Singh Nijjar in Canada by unidentified gunmen, there is a rally being taken out by the Khalistani elements here in Melbourne. Just behind me you can see they have collected here in Coburg and they'll be moving towards the Indian High Commission. They have released the posters saying, accusing the Indian officials of being the face of killers of the killers. Now, in Australia and India are basically friendly countries. The Australian government has taken strict action against them in case of violence after Prime Minister Narendra Modi intervened. There has been a lot of tension among the community, but what the Australian police has done is that they have beefed up security at the Indian High Commission so that there is no untoward incident. This is Vishal Monga, Times Now, Melbourne, Australia.
In our last elections, Pallavi, we saw that separatists, people who actually support Khalistan movement, they got less than 2.5% of the vote. The modus operandi of their, this is based on 50 cars with 2 people, flags, poles, and threats to the community. This is what this movement is all about. They do not actually enjoy any of the supports from the Sikh diaspora, and as you know, in Victoria, basically we have around 90 to 100,000 people who identify as Sikhs, and you can see 100 have come up here. This is not even a percentage that a statistician would start working on. They won't even look at this. They won't even make it as a news. And therefore, you will see that no mainstream channel usually covers these guys because they know they are bonkers. They are. But if you look at Canada, where 770,000 people, that's 770K, which is the total Indian population in Australia at this moment, around 780. So you have 770K Sikh population in Canada, and even then they don't enjoy any of the support.
India has drawn a red line. All these countries that are allowing India baiters, the Khalistani sympathizers, Pak ISI proxies, call them what you want to, are on test. Will they allow this free run? We'll have to wait and watch. Taking a short break. Stay with Times Now.